Hey, what's going on? Fine people of planet Earth. What an amazing time to be alive. It's a very weird and strange, crazy time right now. But I'm sure that statement would also be true if you said it every day for the last million years. Our world is always going to be crazy and weird and awesome, and you can make your world whatever you want it to be. You can make whatever you want based on how you use this, and where you put this. Your environment is so important, right? In this video, I wanted to talk about how I judge people, or how I think is a good way to judge people. You're probably thinking, you shouldn't judge people, that's not cool, you know? In spirituality, spiritual people, we don't judge anyone. Everyone's equal, right? Nonsense. We're all different. There's a big difference between a spoon and a fork. And if you don't use a little bit of judgment to choose, it's gonna hinder you in life. Judgment is not something evil, it's not something bad. It's something that we do. We judge. We see two paths ahead of us, and we look at them, we analyze them, we weigh up what we think based on how much we know, how much knowledge we have. We make a decision based on judgment. Now, judgment is not good when it's overly done, when it starts to control us, when it starts to trigger fear, and we're judging, and we're afraid, and and it makes our world smaller, creates more suffering. Remember, at the end of the day, the question we should always be asking is, does this serve me, right? So does the way I'm judging serve me and my environment, right? Serve me, the people around me? Is it energizing me? Is it strengthening me? Is it energizing the people around me, strengthening my environment? That's pretty much the filter through which I believe we should be living our life. Is what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, what I'm judging, what I'm choosing, everything, is it serving my life? Is it making my life better? And what about the people around me? Because if you're smart, you're going to realize at the end of the day that when your environment thrives, well, so do you. When people around you are successful and do well, you're going to do well, right? So it's not all about what serves me, and I got to focus on me. If everyone around me is suffering, it's fine. I'm just going to focus on me. No, because if everyone around you is suffering, it's going to affect you too, right? I'm not saying that you have to go out there and try to help the whole world and be like Jesus or the Messiah. No, start with yourself. Fill your cup first, but you're going to find that if you do a few simple things, and it's not very difficult, but you make a few simple adjustments in life, you're going to find that your cup is going to fill faster. And when it is full, it's going to naturally overflow around everyone and everything that you come in contact with. If your mom or your dad or your family or your brother or sister are going through hard times, and you are taking good care of yourself through sports, through work, through everything that we talk about, making yourself healthy and strong, you're going to make them feel better. Just your presence, just you go, and the way you see things, the way you'll communicate with them, you're going to radiate, and you're going to rub off on them. The way you think, the way you speak, the way you feel, it's going to be contagious, and it will spread. So let's go into judgment here. How do I judge? How do I like to judge? How do I suggest and coach and teach people and share with people on how I believe judgment should be carried out? At the end of the day, it's very simple rule can be applied when it comes to judgment, and that is actions, not words. I will even go as far sometimes as to ignore the words that people say, and I just focus on their actions. And that's a great, simple, effective way to make judgments. Because we need to make judgments. We need to be able to say, right, this is a good person, or this is a person that can come into my life, or this is, a good restaurant, a good, good food, etc., etc. And with people, the best way to do it is just to pay close attention to their actions, and that's it. Just pay close attention to their actions. If they're constantly going to be saying "Oh yeah, let's hang out next week," and they're never hanging out, or if you're in a relationship, or if you're being confused by an ex or a girl or a guy that you're dating, and you just get mixed signals and you're finding everything confusing, don't be confused any longer. Just pay attention to the actions. If you're a girl and you're having weird experiences with men who are saying a lot of stuff, like a lot of men do, a lot of guys do, will say a lot of sweet things, a lot of nice things, but hey, are the actions backing them up? I was coaching someone not long ago who was in a long distance relationship, which, as you guys know, you already know my feelings on that. Well, I was coaching her, and she was it had a big impact on her when she started to focus on the actions of the guy that she was talking with rather than the words. And then she realized that the words were like a smoke screen, were like a distraction from the truth, and they were stringing her along, wasting her time, wasting her energy, getting her more attached, and the more we get attached, it just takes more time to get back on our path and get back into our life and all of that. So there are a lot of reasons why people will do something like that, and mostly it is unconscious for a lion's share, of it. People in general are unconscious of what they do. But it is also sometimes that people knowingly are doing that to string people along. Why? Because they feel the same way. Without someone, they feel that lack, they feel that emptiness, that loneliness, right? So they're trying to get something out of it as well. And somewhere along the lines, they've gotten lost, and they have sold the idea to themselves, either through friends or through family or just bad teaching, that it's okay to treat people that way. And it's not, because at the end of the day, it will come back and bite you in the ass yourself. And you're going to suffer either through the way you feel or just making bad decisions, usually just come back and hurt you in some way. In a lot of ways. So judgment, in my opinion, is absolutely fine. You just want to keep it in check. You don't want it to get too extreme. And I notice there's a lag on this video, so I'm going to wrap it up a little earlier. But yeah, just pay attention to the actions, and remember that people are always changing as well. We're never the same person twice. Doesn't mean that we're going to drastically change personality. No, I don't believe that either. I believe that, there's a saying that I like, which is that time doesn't change us, it just reveals character. And that's very true. I would take it even one step further and say that as we grow more wise and more aware, doesn't necessarily have to be something linked to time or age. You can be a very wise 6 or 7-year-old. There are plenty of them if you go to Afghanistan or India or other parts of the world, or Thailand or Bali. You're going to meet a 6 or 7-year-old who's just like an adult, right? Is just very wise, very aware. Most likely one of the biggest drivers for awareness and awakening and becoming more enlightened and mature and wise is suffering. So a lot of those parts of the world, kids are going through a lot of suffering. In Afghanistan, they're seeing their friends, their family being killed. There's landmines everywhere, So they grow up very quickly, which is another video, because children are freaking amazing. And I hope YouTube doesn't have a problem with fricking, but it probably does. Anyway, whatever. Kids are amazing, and they're super intelligent. So anyway, be aware that we're always changing, yet it's less change and more we evolve and we become more of ourselves. Why? Because as time goes on, we have less energy to waste. So, a lot of us, we invest a lot of energy into being someone that we're not, and as time goes on, we have less energy to sustain that. And that's why you get miserable, bitter old people who are they don't care anymore. They don't care, they do whatever they want because they just don't have the energy anymore, right? And it's kind of funny, and some of them are actually really cool. They may be miserable and bitter, but their heart is gold, they have great hearts. You don't have to smile to be happy, okay? So when it comes to judgment, again, keeping in mind that, yes, you may see great actions out of someone for a period of time, and then you think, okay, this is a good person, to put in my life, but then that person could change, right? So it's never a on-off switch with anything, sadly, in life, or not sadly. Our life is always dynamic. It's always evolving. It's always changing. So there's going to be friends that come in for a period of time, years, maybe lifetime if you're blessed and lucky, or they'll come in chapters. And life is like a book. It has chapters. So when we judge, it's important to also keep in mind that our judgments aren't everlasting, shouldn't be everlasting. You should be dynamic. You should always come back to things and reassess and say, well, how's it going now, So just a few things to keep in mind. Most importantly, that actions, not words. Focus on the actions. The words can sometimes be very misleading and not so important. But actions are more important. And focus on the actions. Alright, and I hope this helps. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos, more and more, just getting them all out there. A lot of things to talk about, a lot of things to discuss. We live in an amazing time, an incredible time, and yes, you can argue that the challenges that exist they're growing. There's a lot more difficulty in a lot of ways, especially psychologically and socially, the way we interact and communicate and connect with each other. We're going through like all this social media and just people traveling all over the world, and we're mixing. All of us are mixing, and all these cultures are mixing, and of course there's going to be confusion and clashing of cultures. Dating itself is so complex. There's like all these different terms. Are we exclusive? Are we, friends with benefits? Are we, it's just, are we dating? Are we boyfriend and girlfriend? Are we this? It's crazy how much is going on. But what will always be able to help guide you through it is your heart, your feelings, our gut feeling, as I have explained in older videos of mine. Our gut feeling isn't just some magical feeling that we have. I believe there's a lot of evidence out there to support that it is the accumulation of many complex calculations that are being made right here in our head, and then we feel it here. But that's where, feelings are triggered by thoughts. And there are many, many processes going up here that we are not in control of and we're not aware of, like what controls our breathing, our heartbeat, millions of things that our mind is calculating for us and doing for us. And I believe our gut feeling is one of those. We can take a look at something or someone or whatever, and we'll just get a feeling. We'll know that, this is good. Or this has risks. We can decide yes or no. And that's judgment, right? Being able to judge. Yes, no. But then there are going to be cases where we have mixed feelings and we don't know why. We can't put our finger on it, but we just can feel it here that, I don't know about this. We might feel that in relationships or going into business deals or whatever. And I usually make my decisions based on the feelings. So feelings, when I feel, yes, this feels right. It's not because of feelings or magic, as I said. It's because I know that my mind has calculated for me and seen all the micro, details, micro expressions, perhaps just figured out through all the details involved that you can't explain or fathom, and given me this feeling. So focus on making it